Welcome back, Trash and Talk. We're back here today to bring to you. We got a little situation in New York with the rats and how they're taking over. The population is getting enormous now at this point, and we just want to break it down and bring it to you live.
We can bring it live, but the one thing that's on my mind, how much money the person handling this is getting. The rat czar. $155,000 a year.
That's nuts.
I mean, I'll do it for $10.
Yeah, I know people that will get out there in fatigues and shoot these motherfuckers one by one.
Well, maybe we should talk to these guys and they should fucking, get on the ball.
Maybe we need to be the rat czars. Or maybe call out to one of our, friends, Theo Vaughn,
He is
who
the Rat King.
The Rat King. Maybe he can talk to his peeps and take care of this. Yeah. But we're going to dig into it, people. Let's talk trash.
We got the trash. We got the trash. Yeah, we got the trash. We got the trash. Our trash is your treasure. We got the trash. We got the trash. It's the Raccoon Kings are your treasure. So listen to our trash. So listen to our trash.
Welcome back, Trash and Talk. Kurt, today we're going to dig into the rat infestation of New York City, of the brown rat, the Norway rat.
Mm-hmm. Norwegian
rat. And this stems from back in the 1700s when these little fuckers got on the boats. They found their way into people's luggages, I guess. And now it's New York City's problem.
So it's kind of like illegal alien type thing?
I don't know I guess.
It seems
right?
that way.
Yeah, right. I guess. I mean, they're like hopping borders and
hopping on boats.
Yeah,
coming across banana boats? Or like old ships?
Because then they would have ate them. But no, it's, I think they got on like the Norwegian
Dawn.
The cruise line.
The Norwegian Dawn.
Yeah, so they were hanging out that way. But
safe passage.
But no, it's tough for New York now because there's no solution. They've tried many things, and we've dealt with it. I remember years of dealing with the fucking rats in New York.
Well, what's the population in New York? How many million? 8 million now? Or maybe
rats
more?
or people?
No, people.
I don't know, because they're saying, we could probably look that up. But
there's 3 million rats.
But they said there's 5 times the population of people to rats. So, yeah, New York City's probably 8.2 million.
And then there's 3 million rats.
So that's not adding up. Because what I read was 5 times the amount of people. So
sometimes the math ain't mathing.
Yeah, somebody's miscounting.
Somebody made a mistake.
Yeah. So we'll have to find that guy. But
Jazzy will get to it and she'll take care of it.
But no, the rats are always, mostly in, basements of the buildings. And because that's where they're doing the trash.
Yeah.
And alleyways and just in the sewer systems. New York has, one of the worst the city systems, like the sewer systems, and they're just running free.
Well, when you're built on 1/3 of your land was built on a landfill,
yeah,
they're having a party underground.
Yeah, and that's where people who don't know, like from Wall Street down to Battery Park City, is built on landfill and oyster shells,
which isn't bad because you pay for like a 1-bedroom apartment like $7,000 a month in Battery Park City, and you built on a dump. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, you're toxic, and most of New York is. But this is what they deal with on a daily basis. Like I said, we dealt with it with picking up trash. I remember stories of just, I used to step on the little mice. They would nothing,
nice. You know what we dealt with. They were like raccoons.
But you would drag a bag from a pile, and a rat would run out. A few of them.
Yeah.
And then you would go, throw it out, and then get another one. And then these suckers would come right back in if they found goods.
I seen you do the dance.
Yeah.
I've seen you do the dance.
My first reaction to a mouse or a rat is
the
little,
dance.
You do a little dance.
Little two-step.
Because you don't want it going up your pants.
I had one run up my arm, so it's the most disgusting thing ever.
Yeah. And we'll get to it. In some countries, that's a blessing, actually.
Well, not if they bite you, it ain't.
Yeah. And these fuckers are, They jump vertically 3 feet. Horizontally at you can come 4 feet.
That would be pretty good. The NFL Combine.
Yeah, I would. That's pretty good for an 8-inch beer can, because they say they weigh an average of 12 ounces. So that think of that. New York's running around. There's just beer cans
everywhere,
flying around.
Jumping at people,
causing havoc. But I've seen them jump, and these fuckers got legs,
fly.
man.
They do. They got some pumps.
I don't know if they're working
on their legs.
Yeah, I don't know if they're working down those in the alleyways and basements. If they're working on their, whatchamacallits, their calf muscles and working on their heights. Like, do they have like the Olympics of rat? Like, I don't know.
There's a combine.
There's got to be. There's got to be something. We got to dig deeper into this. Maybe go into the sewers.
How do we get to the problem? How do we solve this problem? Because I know that poison them didn't work, because when they poisoned them and a bird would fly down and eat the rat, the bird would die.
Yes, and that's a big thing. That's why this all started. So there was an owl in New York City that was very well known. I forget its name. Flacco.
I don't want to cut you off, but was the owl that licked the Tootsie Pop?
No, that one's still licking.
He's still alive.
Yeah, he's still going for it.
Good
he's
to know.
Counting. He's probably up to 700, 600.
Good to know.
But
sorry to cut you off.
But no, Flacco was an owl that was very well known in New York City, like flying on, hanging out on high rises and all that stuff. When he died, they opened him up and they found poison, rat poison.
Yeah, because they were poisoning the rats.
Yeah, so
he got hungry.
So now it's just like anything else. Now this happens, and now we have to find a solution. It's just like if there's 1,000 car accidents at a four-way stop sign, they put a light eventually. Somebody has to get hurt. That's the thing. And once someone gets hurt, now they get, all right, maybe we'll fix the problem. But
there's been so many things that they could do to fix it. They did, like I was explaining to you earlier, the sewers. They changed the sewer caps, not the sewer caps, the
grates.
The grates, where they come up to the curb so they can't come out.
So once they go in,
once they're in that's it. They can't get out.
Oh, so then there's even more rats than we know about.
Yeah, because they're not counting what's on the ground.
Yeah, nobody's going under there.
No.
And there's probably tunnels for days.
I mean, I went underground as a kid. This is how messed up we were in Great Kills. There wasn't much to do, I guess. So, the storm sewers that go out into the ocean.
Yep.
So I lived by the water. We would go in through that, go underneath Highland Boulevard, and travel all the way down with flashlights and knives.
In the sewers.
Playing in the sewers. And there was rats in there.
Yeah, but that's what we did as kids, and it was probably fun.
Yeah, it would definitely be fun on the Manhattan.
Yeah. Well, in Manhattan, I don't know. Because that's fucking nasty.
Bruh.
It's nasty.
You know how much shit you find down in them sewers in Manhattan?
Yeah, well, it's something that you have to really enjoy.
Yeah,
to search for rats in the sewer.
Too old for that now.
Because the days of running through sewer drains like you did are over. The amount of shit people throw out, in illegal dumping and stuff, and it's disgusting.
Wouldn't be safe.
Yeah, and then I can't do it because I'm too tall.
But
no, Orkin came out in 2024. The stats show that New York actually isn't the most infested city in the United States. Chicago leads the way. Los Angeles after that.
Really?
And then, we came in third. So we got the bronze of the Rat Olympics.
Are they more are they more populated because of more of a homeless issue and there's more food on the streets, or what does it say what the reason was?
No, I think it's just the way people
discard
their trash. And it brings us back to what we spoke about the last episode of food waste.
Yeah.
You think of the times we worked in Manhattan. I remember working in Manhattan, and you would have restaurants would have bags outside.
Yeah.
It was slop.
Yeah.
It was disgusting. Where the owner, after they took it, the trash guys, because that's a private, that's not us.
Yeah.
We didn't pick that stuff up. They would come out and hose it all down.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's just sitting in the street.
Disgusting.
But the rats were running, if you work nights in Manhattan, the rats were running from those bags all day.
Crazy. And that's one thing. It's I forget what they call it, but a rat will always go back to the same food source. It'll never defer from it. So if it has a food source, that restaurant say, It goes there
Well, if it knows good eating.
every single day. It'll go there.
Yeah.
Every day.
If it likes Italian, it's going to eat Italian.
Yeah, if it likes
Chinese,
German.
God bless him, because he's probably eating his brothers.
Spätzle and stuff like that's good for the rats, for their intestines.
That's terrible to know.
They're neophobic. That's what it is.
Oh. But so then they really like Chinese because they love eating their own people.
Yeah.
Is that what that means?
Maybe.
Neophobic, or is that something else?
I'm not going to lie, people. I truly don't know what it means. But
Jazzy, what is it when you eat your own people?
Cannibal.
Cannibalism.
Yeah. Well, rats are neophobic. They will always go back to the same food source every day and not deter from that.
Right.
Yeah. So they probably don't watch scary movies either.
Get back to your
What the hell? What the hell's going on there?
It's disgusting.
You know what? We're not doing that bad. We should actually do a road trip, me, you, and Jazzy.
It's gross.
Dive into this. Get in there. Boots on the ground.
I can't fit.
Yeah, I'll wear an outfit.
But there are other, the other countries that lead the way. London, Paris, on the top of Europe's list. But the crazy thing is that India is fucked up. These motherfuckers are crazy. So let me read this. Karini Mata Temple in Deshnok, India worships nearly 20,000 rats. They say they bring, they're holy.
Okay.
And
I'll go with that.
And if it brushes up against you or touches you in any way, that's you getting a blessing.
Really? So when that rat jumped on me out of the back of the hopper, I was blessed?
Blessed.
Because let me tell you, I wasn't so much blessed. I almost shit my pants and ran.
Then that's a bigger issue.
People, we're talking rats like this.
Yeah.
This fat. We're not talking that little field mouse.
No.
We're talking that nasty.
No, these
You've
are
seen
rats.
it. You live in New York City. You've seen it.
With the tail, they're a good 18 inches.
And they're not afraid.
No, they don't give a fuck about you.
They will jump on a table on an outdoor seat. That's another problem they're having.
Real quick.
That caused a lot of issues too.
I'm going to get to a story, but I want to finish this part with this place in India. Okay. So they actually have like a contest, I guess, a game where they count how many white rats are in the population of the brown. Because you'll just have random white rats running around.
Albino rats.
Exactly. So that's what they do for fun, I guess, the kids when they go and their parents get blessed.
Well, I don't know if there's much for them to do in India because it's a mess.
Yeah, well, there's parts that are.
I'm not being mean. I'm just saying.
But I once did that at a rap concert.
A rap concert?
Yeah.
You were the only albino.
Well, there was 12. Including me and my friends.
You don't tan well either.
So no. So
you must have stuck out.
It was like a game. You just play it sometimes when you're in locations.
Today's breaking news is about something close to my heart in Staten Island. Gateway National Recreational Park. It's been closed down since 2000 and I think 2009 or 2005. I played all my baseball games there as I got a little bit older. All my baseball practices were always there. There was a airplane field also there, model airplane field. It got taken away from the community. Not many people knew what was going on. My kids never really got to experience it. It closed in 2005. It closed because of radioactive contamination. The fields closed. The radiation came from industrial waste and old machinery used as fill to build the park in the 1940s, which included the ball fields and the model airplane fields. Despite small soil removal in 2009, the remediation efforts have dragged for years. There was a cleanup effort during COVID, but it wasn't a full-scale cleanup. Earlier this year, the city and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers finally agreed to a full cleanup. They're aiming to finish the remediation by 2026 if everything stays on track. If you want to contact for direct updates, you can get in touch with Gateway National Recreational Area Headquarters. The phone number is 718-354-4606. Also, the website is NPS Gateway Contact Page. Thank you, and long live Gateway.
But yeah, so, and you also have to realize in all these cities and these countries, this all goes solely on people calling up. Like New York has 311, disease control. Like, there's not someone out there fucking counting rats. I mean, the way they mix and mingle, there's no chance you can count them. I think you get to 6 and be, fuck, I think I counted him.
I don't know.
That one had a dot. I think I counted him.
What's that? Well, that's on the white stripe.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the problem. It's like
It's an
you could be in your house right now calling every day. I saw a rat. I saw a rat. I saw a rat. That just totals the numbers. You know, so maybe Chicago, there's bored people there and they're just fucking calling up.
Chicago might have a lot of rats. They're getting confused. They're talking about like somebody ratting on somebody. Chicago mob. It could be that, and that's why the number's more than New York.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. The old, Bennies that were out there.
Yeah,
they took over and.
Excuse me.
The Bennies.
What are you talking about, Benny? No. You're from New York, pal.
Yes.
So
I messed it up. Not Bennies.
No. No.
Guineas.
No. Guineas, Bennies, whatever. I'm getting a little sick and tired of you, Fisher, all you guys that live in Jersey. Benny, go home. Listen, without Benny, there'd be no Jersey Shore. That's for another day. Let's continue.
Just say what it is. It's a shit show.
I do love you no matter what.
It's a shit show. But there are all plans now in the mix. New York City has gone to now where all these restaurants and home dwellings that have more than one dwelling in it have to get containers.
Okay.
And what's shitty is like restaurants should have been doing this from the get-go, but there's nowhere to put the containers.
Yeah.
So now what are you going to have? Like,
you can't put them on the curb because there's people
all over New York City. Not everybody has an alleyway
Yeah.
or a backyard. Like New York City's building on building.
Definitely a huge issue with that.
Yeah. So how are you going to do that? And then even the home dwelling, like the homes, or apartments. First off, they don't have the space either. Second off, I've already seen pictures of these so-called plastic containers that were indestructible have holes in them already.
Those rats could chew through anything.
It's crazy. Yeah, they should get the compost guys.
Yes,
DuPont.
I told you, DuPont. Real quick, I was in Home Depot yesterday, and Mitch was talking to me, Paloma. You know Mitch. So he's got a couple of houses in Staten Island that he rents out and stuff like that. And he got summonses for the pails. So I actually seen the new pail, not the compost pail, the sanitation pail. They actually sell it in Home Depot in Staten Island. It has the sanitation logo.
Really?
And it has a rubber latch on it, so you can't open it up. It's actually really, I was shocked. It was really good. And it's built like that compost pail.
Yeah,
thick.
But we're getting down to, once again,
like that's what you're talking about with the
money.
restaurants and shit, right? Like thick pails like that with the lid that locks, right? With the rubber latch.
I don't know what they're doing. I saw these like 1 yard and 2 yard containers that they roll out, and then the city put these things on the back of the truck that dumped them in, or privates that have the lift on the back.
Yeah.
But we're getting into the whole situation of who's making money, because let's be honest, the lid's gonna break, and these motherfuckers they'll eat through it.
Yeah.
Kurt, all our time, you would go anywhere and there'd be a lid or a pail with a hole in it. And you could tell something ate through it. So whether it was a raccoon, a rat, a possum, something. These fuckers are hungry.
And let me tell you, they're having a good time out there.
Yeah.
Because 2 rats a year make 15,000 rats.
God damn it. Well, that brings us to the next, situation.
That's a lot of rats eating a lot of shit.
Well, that brings us to the next situation, which is, the rat contraceptive, better known as birth control.
Wait a minute. You're telling me there's a guy going around putting little condoms on rats?
No. So what they're doing is on 42nd and 2nd. Yeah. On 42nd and 2nd, on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yes.
They hand out birth control to rats that want
like when they did it in
up.
school and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. If a girl feels like she wants to go get birth control, she goes to the doctor.
Yeah, because how many rats want to have 15,000 babies?
That's a lot of babies. She's got to be in pain.
Dude, that's a lot of babies.
You probably could
in a year.
follow the trail of blood.
What is the term for pregnancy? Three days?
I mean, there's got to be rat blood everywhere.
Oh, that's disgusting.
But think about that. Now, we're going to give birth control to rats. That's our solution for this.
Yeah.
Which is pretty sad, but I guess you got to do what you got to do. That's how fast you can have kids?
21 to 23 days. That's how quick they have babies.
Christ. These are little fuckers for real.
I would pop out kids all over. You want to?
That's crazy. But yeah, the city started they gave the green light on this pilot program. Start giving the rodents birth control. The company is Wisdom, and they'll be handing out birth control. But now, what if other animals get it? I mean, the pigeons would be great if they got it, because then they'd stop the pigeons. But, you know, what if your dog eats this thing? And now, if you wanted to have puppies, they're out.
You're out of your mind.
But I'm saying, just like the owl ate the other thing. You know, what if the rat, goes to 42nd and second, gets the pill, and second guesses and says, I want to keep banging around.
Well, you know what?
And spits it out.
They're starting to get nervous. You want to know why?
Who?
The rats. You want to know why? I'll tell you why.
Why?
Because New York City hired a rat czar
to take control of it.
To take control of this problem.
Yeah, I've seen a picture of her.
Oh, she don't fool around.
Dude, she definitely drives a blue Subaru.
Listen to me. She's a Subaru driver. But honestly, she's getting paid $155,000 a year for what? I don't know. But I know she's handing out a lot of contraceptives.
She's the birth control queen.
Imagine that.
Maybe there's some towns and areas in New York City that she should go to help control those populations.
The rat czar. That's some title, dude.
Well, it's just all right. Let's put it this way: it's a typical mayor's hire of someone that's a friend's friend, and they need to make $150,000 a year.
Yeah, I hear you.
Because how the fuck can you even know that this is working?
All right. Listen.
How are you tagging them?
She knows it's working. She's the czar.
So what I had seen that the black.
Am I right, Jazzy? She's the czar.
The black rat. And what makes her a fucking specialist in rats?
She's a rat czar.
Where'd she come from?
She's beginning to feel like a rap czar. Rap czar.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No? All right.
So they have the black boxes that normally there was poison in.
Okay.
And they're going to put those in there.
What is it, like a pellet?
Yeah, it's like a pellet.
And it works
it's not in pill form.
It works for female and male. That's how it works.
I guess.
It works. It is. It works for female and male rats. It's made plant-based, right? It's plant-based.
Okay.
It's plant-based, and it's safe. It's not if the rat gets eaten by your friend the owl.
Yeah. It won't kill it. Not fuck around with the.
So that's like the big thing. What they're trying to do is control the population. We don't know if it's going to work. The only thing they're doing is putting them black boxes in areas
where it's worse.
Where it's worse.
Where all the calls come in.
Yeah.
But here's my question. Now this causes some concern to me. I know people who haven't gotten a little bit from their significant other.
Happens.
And they get mad.
Oh, yeah.
So these rats are going to be pissed.
They're going to be pissed because,
Tony
3
million rats.
Because you got like Tony the rat that lives like in Mulberry Street. He's a family guy.
He loves pizza.
He wants to procreate.
Yeah.
He wants a lot of kids running around. Now all of a sudden, you clip this guy's wings, and every girl in the neighborhood can't get pregnant. He has no good sperm. We got a problem.
Well, I guess
we got to piss Tony the rat.
I guess they're still messing around, but now they're not messing around with newbies.
Yeah.
They're using all the old stuff.
Yeah.
And she's going to be hurting after a while.
She was a school teacher before a rat czar.
The czar.
Kathleen Karate.
A PhD. So that makes her the rat czar.
And her last name
She went to fucking school for 4 years.
Karate. In? Okay. So urban development, urban sustainability. I get it. Rats.
Nothing in rats. Fucking stupid. Wasting.
We would be better.
Typical.
I mean, I've been around a lot of rats.
Yeah. Yeah, Kathleen, good luck.
Staten Island's filled with them.
Good luck. But they also are blaming it on global warming because they say like New York City's going down 0.3 degrees every 10 years.
Love it.
And that's what's keeping them like normally because they would hide during the winters, but the winters have been warmer.
Yeah.
So it's just, making
more.
it, they're out partying all kinds of
Populating, drinking.
Yeah. And that's the biggest thing. Like, I hope she does figure it out because it does make New York seem disgusting, but
it makes a lot of sense that if it works.
But for $150,000 try, I mean, we said it in the opener.
When did she
I
get
know a few
appointed?
guys that would do this for a few grand.
When did she get appointed? 2023, I think, or something like that,
Yeah.
right?
I don't even know.
So
It's just, but
she's
I
been
know
to-
guys that'll dress
Yeah,
up.
April 12th,
shoot these
2023.
fuckers all night. They'll shoot one by one.
Yeah, we'll call them up.
Average cost to get
Wait, what?
Well, that's because Orkin is fucking expensive. $600 if they come to your house, and if you have rats, God bless you, and just let them rub up on you. Blessed. The blessing. But yeah, I remember I wanted to tell you a story, but also
How
in
much
New
money
York,
was
remember
allocated?
the,
I don't know.
I can only imagine. But do you remember when the bags in New York City were peppermint flavored?
Yes.
So that they wouldn't eat them.
Yes.
Which you knew because, I mean, granted they had a label on it, but the minute you picked that bag up, it stunk like peppermint.
Yeah.
And they never got eaten.
Yeah.
So how about New York City? You give the 150 grand, go make some bags and give them out to the people.
$3.5 million investment in this.
It's a sham. It's such bullshit.
So I watched a video on the way here on YouTube about a guy who lived in the East Village. He had a problem with rats, and exactly what you just said. They were so bad they were getting into his car, eating the wires, doing all this stuff. So he bought a spray. Besides the bags,
Yeah.
they sell a spray, a peppermint spray.
Yep.
He would have to spray his car every night, so they wouldn't go near his car, and everything else. Like he would spray his basement, like you said, all the areas where they come in where you live. It's just crazy.
Well, I mean, at that point, Kurt, I think it's time to move.
He did move. He moved out of the East Village because of it. It got that bad.
Yeah, because that's a disgrace.
You know what I mean? So if you have people
Your
moving
landlord's
out
a
of
filth bag.
well, East Village wasn't always the cleanest place,
Yeah, well,
and we don't know
We
when
have
he
other
lived.
problems.
We don't know when he lived there. It could have been like in the 70s when it was ABC land was horrific.
Yeah, but I wanted to get to a story. It was funny. It was nuts, but we were down in the West Brighton projects
Okay.
in Staten Island.
Staten
Me
Italy?
and Steve Perez. And,
Shout out Steve.
Yeah, and they have like fenced in areas
Okay.
where these like townhouses, I guess you can call them,
Okay.
would throw the garbage in. So, you didn't see
Mhm.
the issues. And we would have to go in there and get the garbage.
Yeah, let's just fence it in and nobody
Dude,
knows it's there.
You would go in there. There was
It'd be
no,
10,000
it was dirt
rats.
floor. There was just holes everywhere in the ground
From the rats.
from the rats. So you would open the gate, you would see them run. And now you got to get the pails out. Right? So we eventually got it to where, no, those guys that work there, the maintenance crews, have to put it out in front. We're not opening the gates
Yeah, yeah,
anymore. But needless to say, one day, this girl came by and she had a garbage bag and she was about to go in there. I said, hey, watch out. There's, a lot of rats in there. And she literally just looked at us and was like, and so? And I'm like, all right, well, I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
They're pretty big.
You're trying to be
She's like,
nice.
and I'm bigger than them.
Huh? She don't play.
So I'm like, all right. Well, good luck because they bite. And she's like, and I bite too.
She didn't
And
play
I
around.
said, okie dokie, I'm not
was-
winning this guy.
She wasn't playing around.
She don't give a fuck. She probably got them in the house.
She sounds like a one-upper.
Yeah, she's a two-upper because
She was
this
one-up in
bitch was
everything you
crazy.
said.
She went right in there, didn't even care, threw a bag in the pail, and walked out.
Flat foot, didn't care.
Meanwhile, we were there picking garbage up. Like, throw it here. No.
You know what stop I remember was like that? The one at Park Hill.
Shit kapow.
That bag that when you had to slide open the gate
Yeah.
and go in there was always
Yeah, we used to get shot at and thrown
Yes,
bottles. They used
yes,
to throw bottles off the
yes.
roof at us.
yes.
Not Basil Court. No.
I don't remember the name of it.
Sobel Court.
Sobel Court.
Yeah. That was a shit show. But
What is wait, Jazzy, could you do me a favor? Can you look up the average lifespan of a rat? Is it like
28 days.
no, not the birth. Not
No.
the gestation period.
Yeah, that's why they keep making more because they keep dropping dead after 20 something days.
No, they can't live longer than a year, do they? 2 to 4 years.
So think of that, 2 to 4 years. How many babies do they have at once? One?
But they average 15,000 each rat.
But what I'm saying is does
year.
it have,
A year or in its
singles?
lifetime. I don't know if it was.
7 to 14 pups.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Jesus. That's a lot of fucking babies. In 2-4 years, you can make that many kids?
I don't want to sound.
As small as one or as large as
I don't want to sound like I'm
Don't bring up nothing racist.
labeling or profiling, but how big is a little
reduce up to
So why did the thing tell me that
15,000?
15,000?
Yeah, that's your numbers are wrong.
No, it's ChatGPT. They were lying to me.
Yeah, that's crazy.
What I was getting at is, how big is a baby? About that big? A baby
No, my
rat?
kids were like 21 ounces.
No, not them. Not
Oh.
the kids.
21 ounces, kids?
The kids were
Yeah.
21 inches,
And Wendy was in pain
8 pounds, 9 ounces.
after.
Anyway, so you're telling me they're popping all these babies out in Chinatown? I'll leave it at that. That's all I'm saying.
Hold
Well,
on.
oh damn,
That girl don't play around.
she's gotta be hurting.
Nah.
So they're not. The
pliable.
females. I'd like to know if the females
Very
only
pliable.
Only,
Pliable the right word? I
the
don't know, but it
females
sounds
probably
right.
only live a few months. I mean,
No, man.
Come
They're
on.
Helping them out.
although I have seen some people with some kids that, they would getting after it way too quick.
Jazzy, if you can, for us, because you are our brain source, because we're just
Not
puppets.
brains.
We're just puppets to
We're not
Jazz's
brains.
information. How many of them boxes do you know that they put around the city? Does it say? Like, can you find that out? The contraceptive, the food pellet
birth
boxes,
control
the birth
boxes.
control boxes.
I told you 42nd and 2nd. That's the only one I know of.
Uh-huh.
They supposedly put them in, I hate to say bad areas, but they started in Harlem.
Yeah, well, they start with the problems, though.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a few in Alphabet City, although that changed since
Alphabet
since
City
we're
and
out.
Alphabet City anymore.
No, right?
No.
But it's just a shitty situation, and they got to figure it out.
There's no numbers yet. How many
Because-
boxes?
Do you remember there was a guy,
Wow.
yeah,
This April
a month
26th?
ago. Yeah.
So she's been the czar since 23, and she hasn't done shit since now?
No, she brought the pails up.
They had to wait for the bill to pass.
They had to get the green light.
Yeah, I was watching that on YouTube, watching
No,
the guy.
but do you remember there was a guy on the landfill that was sniping deer, like darting deer, because they were controlling that population
Yes.
and snipping and tucking
Yes.
them. So this is what the
Which
city
takes-
does.
Which I was looking into that too. It takes 15 minutes each deer
Oh,
to snip and tuck it. So once they
but
get
then
in,
I got people that call me and say there's deer just randomly walking down the street.
listen to
So
me.
it's weird.
There's deer everywhere on Staten Island
everywhere.
still. I've seen some bucks, bro, that you could hang on your wall. Big, like 8-pointers, 10-pointers on Staten Island. You remember when you were in the landfill, when you were in the annex?
Yeah.
You looked up on that hill. There was a buck there every morning. It was like a 12-pointer.
I
It was
still swear I
ginormous.
saw a bear out there, but somebody said it was Frankie Cox. Whatever.
It could be. He was a big boy.
But no, like, listen, we just wanted to let everybody know, and one of the ways you can combat it, it brings us back to the last episode, food waste. That's kind of why they're going after this. Because if you don't have food in the bags, then they're not going to be attracted to it.
Yes.
And if they're in that DuPont pail, which is indestructible,
You know what?
it'll help the situation.
I'm going to get us a pail. We're going to go out in the yard, and we're going to baseball bat it and see how indestructible that pail really is.
Oh, geez.
Because all I heard was, oh, my tall guy, my knees got banged up with black and blues.
Yeah, it hurt. It
Come on,
fucking
dude.
hurt.
You're Superman. Stop. You're better than that.
But yeah, so that's the thing. And, when you're at home cooking for your family, there's only 3 years. Stop making so much food and leftovers, and stop keeping the leftovers in the fridge and the freezer.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna eat the shit.
You
Throw
got a
it the
point.
fuck out and get rid of it.
You got a point. Every time I put leftovers, very rarely do
Yeah,
I eat
you're
them.
probably still wondering what that is.
I wait till it gets moldy.
What's this? A meatball?
No,
No.
gets moldy. I give to Chubbs.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. Then
Antibiotics. He
then
never
you-
gets sick.
Then you're putting moldy food out, and that probably attracts them even more. I'd like to do that survey, Zaza. woman,
Well-
find out if moldy food attracts them even more. You know, maybe they're attracted to moldy food. But
All right,
we'll
people,
see.
listen. Just contact Miss Karate. She's a black belt in rats. She will tell you everything you need to know about this problem.
Yeah, and we'll
She's
figure
like
it
the
out.
splinter.
Yeah, we're gonna get to the bottom. Maybe she needs the turtles.
The turtles could
Help
help.
combat it.
The turtles could help.
But we're gonna sign off today. And we just want people to be aware of leaving their trash out. Be careful. The rats bite.
They
And
do bite.
And they can carry bubonic plague, which could be a fucking major problem in New York City. Because the diseases they can carry are disgusting.
So it's not a problem in Jersey. I could just come here and I could just live down in that
No,
closet.
we got field mice here.
I'll come live in that closet.
And I
right
just, Wendy got mad one time. They were in a container outside that I have because it's winter. What are you going to do? This summer, you open it up and
Yeah.
it has babies, and they're bold little motherfuckers.
Are they
These
bold?
little field rice.
Yeah.
Because you could find them, and literally you move one thing, you find them, and there's 3 or 4 babies laying in there in a hole in like a corner, say.
Mhm.
And you'll just like look away, come back. The mother comes and grabs one of the babies and runs.
Yeah.
And then she'll try to grab it again and run.
Yeah.
So I took like this little bubble wand that the kids had,
Yeah.
and Father's Day actually, and just fucking whack, asses, eyeballs popping.
Ass and eyeballs everywhere.
Yeah. So she didn't get her babies. Sorry.
All right. Well,
And that's one way to combat the problem.
okay.
But we'll get after it. But we appreciate everybody coming out. Check us out on Spotify and
Apple Podcasts, TikTok,
Trash
TikTok.
and Talk.
YouTube Shorts.
Yeah.
We are everywhere, people. Please, it's free to subscribe on anything.
Yeah, like and
It's
share.
free. It's
And,
free, man. YouTube is free.
And once again, if you have a job, a cool job, and or any job, just
Any
reach
job
out.
is cool because every job has
It's
some
cool.
type of. Yeah, it's all everybody's essential, but every job kind of comes into play with what we did
Yeah,
with
rats.
with everything.
everybody's got rats at work.
Mm,
No matter what kind of job you're in, there's a rat everywhere.
I know a couple of rats.
But yeah, thank you for coming out. And like I always say, be nice to people. You never know what somebody's going through.
Have a good day, guys.
Have a
Be
great
happy.
day. Peace out.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Yeah. Get a load of this.